Welcome to London for the Ping Pong World Championship. 64 of the world's best players have just been reduced to the last 16 after an epic second round.
Backhand side spin. What a great hit to finish with. Game and match to Zhong Li of China. And that's it. Ran away in the end by Shui. And that's enough for Chris Doran. He's done his day's work. He's through the first round into the last 16.
Second half of this game hasn't missed a ball. Fantastic.
15-7.
There we go. Andrew Bagley makes it through to the last 16 of this championship. Fantastic professional performance from Alex, coping with a great opponent. Good power, great drop shot. Good power again. Dimitri get back into position. What a rally. Backspin, topspin, everything. And Dimitri Popov does it. He's put Gavin Rungate out at the last 32.
2-1 to win.
Plenty of familiar names into the last 16, providing us with an exciting lineup. The Chinese are here in force. The number 3 seed Piste faces a tough tie against China's Shui. 3 Englishmen also feature, 2 play each other, with Ware up against Bagley. Taking a look at the action on the tables, the defending champion Yan Weihao came through his 3rd round match with a comfortable 2-set win over Li Zhong. The match between Lubomir Piste, the number 3 seed, and Liang Zhui has seen the Chinese player take the opening set 15-11. This is now the 2nd set. Commentary from Tony West and Colin Wilson.
There we see the Chinese supporters. It's great to be able to speak with them this morning and listen to a little bit more about their backgrounds. Chili Zhang, part of putting this together and part of putting together the scene in China.
Great variation that, wasn't it? That little rolled forehand. Made Shui stretch in front of himself, lift the ball up and then banged it across to the other corner really hard.
Great change of pace from Piste. Forehand to forehand.
Love 3.
Now there you could see at the end of that shot Shui's foot coming up. He was off balance and that was what stopped him playing his forehand down the line with any effect. You've got to get yourself in position.
Piste,
and the other player is constantly trying to force you out of position, wide, into the body, where you've got to get your body out of the way to play it. And I was told this morning that Piste was the favourite here because not only is he a really experienced sandpaper back player, he's been to the quarters and semis before, seeded 3 here for the championship, and he's in a top 100 in the world in table tennis. But if you look at Liang Zhui as a table tennis player, he hasn't played for China, but the strength in depth is so strong. He plays in the Chinese Table Tennis Super League alongside Zhang Zhika, Chinese world champion player. And so I think if he could get in the Chinese team, he'd probably also be ranked about where Lubomir is. So from a table tennis point of view, they're well matched as well.
Piste, 4-all.
Disappointed there. I think he felt that was a chance. The ball, he was right in a good position, just overhit it by a centimetre.
Yeah, and look out for Piste's facial expressions and his body language. He tends to give away some of his emotion. Even in the big tournaments like the World Championships, he's not one to hide the way he feels. So as we get towards the end of this second game, we'll probably get the signals from Lubomir about how he's feeling at any moment. 5-all. I still think Piste's backhand is stronger than Shui Liang's.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree, but unfortunately for Lubo, he has made a few errors with his backhand today, which we don't usually see. But yeah, I agree. He's got a beautiful backhand to to watch. It's so free-flowing.
Piste,
He's
6
got the
all.
weapons to do it. He just needs to get consistent with it. He's playing well, but he's not playing it quite at his peak. So towel down. 12 points gone in this game. Every 6 points they get to do a towel down. Have a think, get the perspiration off the hand as much as off the face.
6,
That's a
7.
big backhand from Jouet that time. Piste fell a little bit short, and Jouet made the most of it.
There's world champion Yan supporting his compatriot. I think he looks very pleased with the way that he's dealing with this
Jouet, 7 all.
strong seeded, third seeded Piste. So Piste went away with $5,000 last year for getting to the semi-finals.
8,
That's
7.
in danger this year. Not a strong backhand, but again, Lubo just missing. It's a couple of errors. He's only 1 point behind. I feel that if Piste gets it together, he will win the second and possibly the third. But the forehand of Liang is so strong. He played to the
7,
backhand.
9.
Liang saw it coming, went down the line. Beautiful shot from the Chinese player. So, uphill battle now for Piste to stay in the tournament.
7, 10.
Just not quite going for him at the moment, is it? Everything's missing by a centimetre or just catching the top of the net. He really needs to find the table a little bit more
11,
often.
7.
And now,
Yeah, there's been about 3 or 4 unforced errors in the middle of this second game from Lubomir Piste, and he knows that that's not good enough now. So, refocus. Playing against serve. Gets the serve back okay.
11,
A little
8.
bit more pressure from Lubo. Managed to make the shot, and that forced the error from Liang as he felt he had to go round and get his forehand in down the line again, but he missed it.
Jouet, double point ball.
So double point time. So Jouet serving. If he wins this point, he gets 2. That will put him 13-8 up, and very, very difficult for Lubomir to come back. Lubomir also has a double point ball to come, but if they both use it and both win their points on it, it just pushes Jouet Liang closer to the finishing line.
Piste, 8, 13.
so brave, wasn't it? Such a big,
Piste, double
obviously
point ball.
double point. Ran round, hits a great, powerful forehand. Lubo with no option now but to use his, try and drag himself back into this one.
Yeah, using a double point ball, 2 points from defeat. Well, he's got 2 points, a cheapie.
10, 13.
We saw that Jouet Liang was giving Lubomir difficulty with the return of serve. That time, Lubo got a good serve in, and it was Jouet Liang that couldn't return it. So, a point directly from serve on the double point ball, 10-13. Missed it again.
Jouet, 14, 10.
This is not quite the Piste that we saw last year that got to the semi-finals.
14, 11.
So match point to Jouet, and 4 points on the trot needed for Piste. Can't do it.
Game.
Just
and
leaning
match.
back on that one.
15, 11.
Beautiful
Jouet.
play from Jouet Liang.
Former semi-finalist Lubomir Piste out, Liang Jouet through to the quarter-finals. More to come after the break. Welcome back to the World Ping Pong Championship. We're down to the last 16 and the race to the quarterfinals. The Chinese are starting to apply the pressure. They've already got 2 players through to the last 8. The defending champion Yan Weihao, and we've just seen Liang Jouet dispose of former semi-finalist Lubomir Piste. In the top half of the draw, Hu Junchao is hoping to join his compatriots. He currently leads the leading Czech player Tomas Sadilek by a set. This is now the second. Commentary from Tony West and Colin Wilson.
Tomas Sadilek will want to get off to a much better start than he did last game. He was always seemed to be 3 or 4 points behind. Couldn't quite pull it back, so he needs to get a better start this time.
1 love. love 2.
Oh, there we go. Really strong on the backhand side, Sadilek.
Yeah, so an increase in aggression. You can see he's decided to pump up the energy, bouncing around more. He's going to up the ante here. Oh, and he got that one back. Defending, that's okay. Well. He's tuned into a different level and been able to implement it straight away. And often, even if you've got the new right tactic and the right mental approach, it's hard to implement it immediately, Tony, but he's done it.
Yeah, did really well there. Kept that backhand so low, it just clipped the top of the net as it went over, but it's so difficult to keep it low there anyway.
4
Fantastic
love.
start from Sadilek.
Yeah, little acknowledgement from Tomas that just clipped the net on the way over. I don't think who was going to get that back anyway. Well, who would have thought that? 4 love, second game. That gives Ball Chow something to think about. Oh, another big one, and he just
5
gets away
love.
with it. It's all going Tomas Sadilek's way now.
Yeah, I think that's 3 on the trot, isn't it?
Well, it certainly gives him a good start. And the question is whether he can hold a 5-point lead and maintain it now. He's got a cushion. If he can go point for point from this stage, he'll win 15-10, of course.
Yeah, so Sadilek certainly done what he needed to do here. Turned it around from what happened at the beginning of the first game and has brought out a nice, comfortable little lead at the moment.
Yeah. Oh.
1
So the
6.
left-hander playing usually the fast backhand serve. That time it hit the edge of his own side of the table, bounced up and off the end. So he loses that point, 1-6. Bit of luck there for
6-2.
Jun Xiaohu. Can't begrudge him that one. So Sadilek serving at 6-2. Fast serve to the forehand, then into the backhand. Well, he's got
7-2.
Hu moving around side to side more and getting him back from the table just a little bit. And we know that he likes to stay up to the table and pound those backhands early. And Sadilek's found a way to stop him doing that. Beautiful backhand from Sadilek, but it came back
7.
amazing. Well played, both players. Real power from Hu, then the big rangy backhand from Tomas Sadilek, and it came back just as hard. But still with a 4-point lead.
4-7.
You won't need that.
Yeah, good serve from Hu there. He varied it. He had been just sort of kind of throwing in the backhand serve quick down the line, but decided to mix it up, threw in a pendulum serve, took the point.
You can see he takes his fingers off the handle of the bat altogether to play the serve when he serves with his forehand. Has to get extra degrees of movement in his
7-5.
wrist as he tries to spin the ball on the serve there. Big wrist action, and then you can see him put his bat back into his hand. He's got a bit of a backhand-favoured grip, hasn't he, some of the time? Just switches it slightly to play the forehand. It's quite interesting. Normally that takes up some time. It's not taking him any extra time, it seems. Not too worried by that. So good Chinese support.
Seven, 6.
Pressure just beginning to tell on Sadilek's backhand there as Hu's working his way back in this game. Tomas has hit so many of those on the trot that I was wondering how long he could keep that up.
Yeah, back to 7-6. So Tomas got to be solid now. Well, he does
6-8.
Question mark for Hu. Not happy with himself. But I think that Sadilek's come out in the second much stronger than the poor start that he had in the first game.
Yeah, you hit another great backhand there, and it's such a long, powerful stroke that you feel it can't be this consistent all the way through a match, but he's only missed it once this game. Oh, there's the second one.
7,
He's got to be
8.
brave. If you don't mistime it, you're gonna miss it. That one went under the net, so 15 centimetres out with that backhand, under the net. So that's how small the margins are between success and failure. sometimes they're missing only by a quarter or a half of a centimetre is the difference between winning a point and losing a point.
8-all.
Even with that level of technique, Sadilek, you can see that he can't control it as well as he needs to. But of course, if he doesn't hit hard, then he's giving Hu too much control and chance to be aggressive himself. Short serve from Sadilek.
8-9.
Goes for the backhand again. Well, he's got to go for it. It's got to go on. It didn't. He's got to keep playing his game, got to stay open. I think getting the, after the short serves, getting the length is important, getting the width is important. You can't afford to just block around, as he's done in some of the last rounds of the tournament so far. That's beautiful from Chow.
Yeah, really well
10-8.
played that from Hu. What we saw there, Sadilek had missed a couple of backhands and he just took a bit off the pace that time, and Hu was onto it like a flash, forcing Tomas away from the table.
Yep. And again, you can see slightly different grip from Hun Chao when he plays his forehand compared to the backhand. Just moves it slightly to get his forehand in. Forehand serve from the backhand corner. Oh, wins it
11-8.
directly from the serve. It's gone from 7-2 to 11-8
Double
something.
point ball from Mr. Hu.
Yeah, and that little short serve into the mid-table has been very successful for Hu. So certainly on this double point, Tomas needs to at least get this ball back in play.
Yeah. To be up and then down 11-8, and the other guy hasn't used his double point ball, which he's now going for. This will make it 13-8 to Jun Chao Hu if he converts this one. Big concentration and planning. Better flip. Same return of serve again, but Sadilek made it.
13.
Wasn't good enough to take the point, though. Good backhand down the line from Hun Chao. Wasn't a great backhand down the line, though. Sadilek needs to pick up those sorts of points. 2 points away from victory for the Chinese player.
8-14. Double point ball from Mr. Sadilek.
Well, that's an obvious one. No reason not to.
May as well give it a go now. I'm sure we'll see him go for one of his big backhands if he gets a chance.
Yeah. Looking back, maybe he should have used it as he was being caught in the middle of this game. Of course, you don't know what's going to happen later. Big forehand from Tomas. Still in it. Crowd just
14-10.
encouraging him to win 1 or 2 more points. Very popular player. So, for a place in the quarterfinals, this point for Jun Chao Hu. See the backhand grip, fast down the line, backhand to backhand. That's what we need from Sadilek.
14-11.
He's not going down easily, is he? Great shots, pull out when you're 5 match points down. Look at that
Power on that. Went straight past him. And, you know, he's tried it, and some have worked and some haven't. He's got 11 points, but that's not enough. Goes for it again. Oh, what a beautiful stroke down the line from Tomas. And then big forehand across court.
12-14.
He retrieved that and turned it defence into attack beautifully in that rally.
I thought this is absolutely brilliant. Look at that shot there. That was
a beauty.
so clever. Fantastic battling from Sadilek.
And that's the guy that's not winning. Brilliant, brilliant ping pong. That shot there, just well placed, wasn't it, against the movement of the opponent. Again. Oh, he's decided to put the kitchen sink in.
13-14.
And, well, he's match point down, and he will be again even if he wins the next point. But the next point's 14-all and sudden death. Could he get back into it?
Look at how well he's having to play to win a point, but at the moment he's pulling it off one after the other. Fantastic stuff.
So, more bravery required from the Czech. There it is. 14-10 to 14-all. What a recovery from Tomas Sadilek. And now, match point to Jun Chao Hu remains.
Yeah.
Game point to Tomas Sadilek of the Czech Republic. And you can see the crowd want to see a third and final decider here.
It was actually 14-8 down, Colin, when he played his double point. Some comeback.
Yeah. All on this one. Sudden death in the second. A lifeline for Tomas Sadilek.
15,
A sudden
14.
death win for Sadilek in the second. This match goes to a decider. That's coming up after the break. Welcome back to Alexandra Palace, and here in the World Ping Pong Championship, Tomas Sadilek and Hu Junqiao are locked in battle at 1-1. This is now the third and deciding set. Commentary from Tony West and Colin Wilson.
So Junqiao Hu of China serving first in the third and final game. Beautiful flick wide of the forehand, just caught the edge of the table. It counts, I don't think Junqiao would have got to that one anyway. So, for the first time, Sadilek in the lead.
2-love.
Who's really looking under pressure now, Colin? See a lot of concern on his face every time he misses, getting very frustrated.
Yeah, and 2-love, of course, means that he's lost the last, how many points? 7? 8?
Net serve.
Yeah, it'll be 7, won't it? Because one was a double point. Amazing run by Sadilek.
Brilliant run. When will it end? There it ends. Okay.
2-1.
So that'll help to ground Junqiao Hu's mind. Still feeling for it. Trying to get his stroke production right, get the feel onto the bat. Goes around to play the forehand, doesn't make it. Well, Ian Johnston went out to Tomas in the last round, just said that Tomas was such a clever player. He was able to soak up his big shots, play it to the other side, get him off balance. Can he do it at what is, frankly, the next level up? But he's done it well so far. Tried to go down the line again, Tomas, but too much wrist, and you don't get the grip with these bats to make the wrist as effective as you would with a high-friction bat. Now that was magic from Tomas Sadilek. What you saw there was the bald warrior playing into the crossover there of Tomas. And he moved across, was happy to play his backhand, got it back into the corner there. And again from the crossover. So the player's moving it around, not just into the backhand, but around the backhand side, and particularly wide of the backhand and into the playing elbow. And the player's got to get their own body out of the way before they can play a good shot. Difficult to do at speed, and that's why they pick those particular points on the table to play to. And then also try and catch the other player by surprise. That one went wide of the forehand. And he got a lot of risk on that one as well, didn't he, Tony?
Oh, it's so impressive this from Sadilek. He's just not making any errors. And although, yes, he is clever, he's proving himself to be capable of hitting with real power as well.
Yeah, I think what's enabled it, he's got his timing now on the topspin of the ball, and that enables him to hit it harder without the ball going off the end of the table. It makes the ball dip once it goes over the other side of the net. So the topspin, didn't get it there, went too hard, and you see it was off balance. Generally speaking, when you're off balance, you have to tone it down a little bit. But yeah, the topspin on the ball makes it act like an upside-down aeroplane wing. You get the low pressure underneath it, and it pulls the ball down in a looping action over the net and down onto the table. And while you can get a lot more of that in table tennis with the high friction rubbers,
3-6.
these players are able to get just a little bit, and sometimes that little bit is required and enough. And they can hit the ball hard without it flying off the end of the table. Very, very clever. Now that was a soft backhand from Sadilek, followed by the big one.
7-3, change the sides.
It's so impressive, it really is. I mean, I think, look at that, that actually hit the sideline. So difficult for her to get across there in time. And with real power.
Tomas has found his sweet spot. Long long serve, and then first one he played it deliberately slow, got the slower return as a result, and then cracked it across. Irish contingent.
7-3.
Gavin there, who's coaching John Murphy after being knocked out in the qualifiers, watching with interest. And there's the consistency that Sadilek needs. Oh, that was so close. Another
7-4.
attempted winner, wide of Jun Xiaohu's forehand. See that? It goes, and then the forehand down there, and then backhand across. Didn't quite make it, but he's been absolutely in a purple patch. You can't get them all on Tony at that level.
Well, you can't, but I don't think Hu's varying it enough. He seems to hit the ball at the same pace fairly consistently, and Sadilek's just got used to that.
Well, is it a Sadilek classic where he reels in the opponent? He's done it against so many players. I didn't think after the first it was going to be possible for him to do so, but this has been fantastic. So both players have used their double point ball. Third and final game to 15 points. Who's serving at 5-7? 2 serves each. Take it in turns.
6-7.
Great pick up there from Hu off that one that had caught the top of the net. Just got his wrist down really quick and picked it up there. You see that just dropped his wrist and lifted up the back of the ball.
Yeah. Suited a compact backhand, and he's got one. Bent his knees a little bit, just picked it up to get it over the net when it was lower. Who will be delighted with that? And you can see that he just picked himself up in his body language. Oh, another lucky one. Good recovery from Hu. Sadilek in, that time instead of the big backhand, came across to play from the crossover, the forehand at the end. Great stuff from Tomas Sadilek. Lucky there. Hu, great recovery, and then from the middle, beautiful from Tomas. He played that ball wide of the forehand many times. That time, went into the backhand as he saw Hu moving across to cover it. Well, went for the classic again. Fast serve down the line. If it comes back to the backhand, go wide across. That's great stuff, but 2 that he's missed recently and put Hu back in it, really.
Yeah, that's the only problem with Sadilek. He's playing so well, and he's still only 1 point ahead.
That's right. That's right. Puffed his cheeks out on that one. What does he need to do next? There it is again. He made it. Well,
fantastic. That service, that return of serve by Hu, I thought was brilliant. I thought that had to win the point. And look how quickly that 42-year-old got over there and then back again in position to play that backhand. Fantastic movement.
Yeah. Classical tactics played at 100 miles an hour. Bang. Great shot. Oh, he got it back. Well played, Tomas. So some really, really powerful shots there. It played as a change of pace. Both players playing some great ping pong there. But again, it goes to the check. 7-10. Now, if Tomas wins this point, that would be 11-7 with Tomas having 2 serves to come. He's been troubled by Hu's service a few times. And again,
10-8.
Jun Xiaohu wins quite a few points direct from the serve. The crowd really getting into this. Packed out here at the Alexandra Palace.
Big, deep breath there from Sadilek, getting himself ready for one final charge at the winning line.
That's right. So, final stages. Who thought about coming to play a backhand from the forehand side, managed to correct it and play the backhand.
Who really firing himself up now, letting out a big roar every time he wins a point.
Yeah, the warrior. And he's only 25 years of age, Tony. Great rally. Good control. Oh, beautiful play. Nice backhand punches from Hu. And then when it came to his forehand, he managed to get a lot of topspin on this pressured forehand. There it goes. Forehand, and then he was there for it. You can see his right foot comes up off the floor. Look at that movement.
Oh, the standard this year, Colin, this is good enough for any round of this tournament.
Well, it's interesting you say that. Deng Yaping, the great Chinese female world champion, picked this man out when he was a young player and said he's likely to be a future world-level player. And, well, he hasn't quite done that. We can see what he is capable of.
10-11.
He's played for his Chinese province team in table tennis. Done his university course. Works in telecoms, but plays a few hours a day still. Certainly on the way into this championship.
That's a sharp backhand, that really good tight serve, a reasonable flick for Tomas, but look how quickly he takes that backhand.
Yeah, a little bit of extra power he found there. So that squares at 11-all, I think.
Yeah, really early as well, wasn't it? That ball wasn't over the back white line before he hit it.
Indeed. See the backhand grip there? And it is the backhand he uses, direct from the serve. Tomas just popped the ball with a little bit of topspin there. You could see it kick over the net, and that was enough to take the ball off the end of the table. That's what topspin will tend to do. Brilliant thinking work from Tomas Sadilek. Now, how can he outwit this talented 25-year-old Chinese player? That's a great backhand from Tomas. Spreading him wide of the forehand. That's what we were saying that he needed in the first game. He's managed to nail it a few times. Really got back into this match.
11-13.
And that's a 2-point lead. No more double pointers to come. Frustration from Hu. An absolute delight for Tomas Sadilek. So, little towel down. He's entitled to at this stage. Taking his time. And is this the right call on service? Go for the forehand pendulum serve? I think so, Tony.
Yeah, I agree.
Another pressured backhand down the line.
12-13.
Chow's found a way to just hit his backhand a little bit harder. That just creates enough pressure to take the ball off the table. Just wide. 12-13. First to 15. 14-all makes it sudden death. No fingers on the handle there. Get extra wrist on it. Backhand down the line. That time Tomas goes for the backhand down the line.
13-all.
It was a smart move, I think. Couldn't quite convert it. So he plays backhand. Instead of going across, went down the line again. Dropped into the net. Hu very, very happy with that recovery. Back to 13-all. But now, 2 points on serve for Sadilek will give him the match. Let's see if he can get any advantage from starting the rally. Oh, he's overhit it, played it from the crossover. He did a beautiful one earlier from the crossover, but that's two that he's missed into Chow's backhand.
Yeah, it was a clever return, I thought. It had been flicking that wide to the forehand a lot, and that time just took a bit of pace off and aimed at the crossover.
Yeah. Clever return of serve. So these mistakes are not just unforced, they're being forced by the opponent, giving them difficult things to do, making them think, giving them the unexpected. So, match point. Junqiao Hu. He wants this point, doesn't he? Oh, he's made a mistake on the return of serve. He's done two great backhand attacks on return of serve, but that one didn't make it. Would you believe the score?
Well, I certainly wouldn't have believed it when he was 14-8 down in the second game. What a comeback from Sadilek. And again, he's saved another match
14-all.
So, 14-all, final game, sudden death. Quarter-final place at stake. $3,000 to the winner, minimum, if they win again after this. $20,000 for the winner of the championship. 1 point, but it's Hu that's doing the serving, and that's got to be a little bit of an advantage. Forehand serve. took it. How did Tomas Sadilek turn that match around and make a victory? The supporters absolutely thrilled. Popular winner.
A thrilling match that went to the wire and halts the Chinese domination of the quarter-final lineup. More action from the last 16 coming up after the break. Welcome back to Alexandra Palace in North London, where we've just witnessed a thrilling match between Tomas Sadilek and Hu Junqiao. It went the distance, with Sadilek needing to save 5 match points in the second before forcing a sudden death point in the third and deciding set. Sadilek held his nerve and is now into the last 8. One more issue to decide in the top half of the draw. Christoph Zakar and Wang Shibo battling to join Sadilek. Commentary for this match comes from Gavin Wungay and Colin Wilson.
Is there a way that the Hungarian can overtake the Chinese player in this match?
Yeah, the Hungarian was in my group. I think it was Group F. Looked very solid on both wings. Had a good weight of shot on both forehand and backhand. So it'll be interesting to see if he can maintain that.
Thanks, Gavin. Let's see. So the bearded Hungarian, Christoph Zakar. Every game that he's played so far, he's won, but
First game,
he's won it in the
Shibo,
third
Wang
game.
serving.
So it is possible to take
Love
games
all.
from this guy. But Tony, you were very impressed with him as well.
Yeah, I think it's great play. You can see by his results there. He beat Adam Bratt, who gave Andrew Bagley such a tough game yesterday. So, you know, he's a decent player. I was watching him. He likes to sit just off the table and hit it hard, Gavin.
Yeah, he's got a good timing for the ball. Doesn't take it too early.
Yeah,
Zakar,
happy to let the ball
love
drop a little
2.
bit, top spin it up. He gets quite a lot of top spin given that they're playing with the sandpaper blue bat.
Love 3.
Yeah, he does tend to prefer that backhand as well. So, if I was the Chinese player, I'd be trying to target the
Wang,
ball a little bit
4
more
love.
into his body, try and move him out of position a little bit, and then attack strong tail wing.
Yeah, and important for the Hungarian, obviously, to play
5
with his odd shoes as well. That must give him a great tactical advantage, eh? Anything in that, guys, or is that just for show?
I honestly don't know,
Zakar,
but
love 6.
unfortunately for him, it's not doing him a lot of good at the moment. Looks snazzy, but it could be that he's perhaps got a foot issue that needs
Love
a
7.
different trainer for. I don't know.
They do look like completely different makes to me. So maybe he's done this on purpose. Maybe he's worn out another one.
Wang
I mean, we know that
7-1.
Ian Johnston in training with you, Tony, wore out 2 pairs of shoes completely in 6 weeks. Gavin, it's expensive in shoes this game.
8-1.
Was that doing a lot of multi-ball then, was it?
Yeah, it was. It was early on when we was trying to speed up his recovery. We hammered the multi-ball and he wore right through the sole from top to bottom twice in 6 weeks.
You're a slave driver, Tony.
2-8.
You have to be a little bit. So, Gavin, how long were you training before this competition with the blue bat? Very much, or was it just a couple of weeks?
Less than that,
3-8.
5 days, unfortunately, because I had the World Tour in Hungary.
You've got to keep switching back to the high-friction rubber bat.
Yeah, usually I would try and fit in 4 or 5 weeks before it. Which,
Wang 8-4.
I still felt I was playing quite well coming into it, but I think under pressure you can then see, the lack of practice.
Yeah, guess that's where it shows. But still, you won one game very, very close, 15-14. So it's still there, mate.
9-4.
And we'll see you, no doubt, next year come back stronger. But here we got Wang from China, Wang Shibo, 34-year-old. The Hungarian's 26 years of age, so he's giving away an 8-year advantage to the European player.
Zakar 5-9.
And of all the Chinese players that we've seen so far, quite interesting that Wang Shibo played in the Asian qualifier, and he won the whole event.
6-9.
So of all the people that have qualified from China, Yan, of course, not having to qualify as champion, but he should be the best
Wang
of the rest.
9-7.
Do you think he's as good as some of the players that we've seen so far yesterday and today from China?
He's not hitting with as much power, but he's quite accurate. And I think with these sandpaper rackets, if you can link well between serve and the first 2 shots, I think you stand a good chance to get right through to the semi-final.
Thanks, Gavin.
Yeah, interesting as well. Zakar's really working his way back into this game, and what he seems to be doing, Gavin, is really pinning Wang on the backhand corner. So with that pen hold style, he feels more comfortable going there. There's going to be less power coming at him.
What's been interesting so far throughout the tournament, I'm seeing a lot of the Chinese players now playing the ball even flatter. If someone hits a ball with a slight bit of topspin or slight bit of backspin, it's actually easier to control the ball.
Wang,
if the ball comes with that middle spin, almost no spin at you, that's when the ball kicks and deviates off your racket.
Yeah, so there's no additional energy in the ball from topspin or backspin. It means you've got to work the ball, maybe lift it a little bit more, makes it a bit tougher. Yep, so what we call the fast flat ball, the Chinese past masters at. Wang Shibo playing right-handed with the pen hold style. Forehand serve from the backhand corner, traditional pendulum serve. Zakar happy to come across his middle to play his backhand, but you said that was his strength, and you can see it there. And his forehand's not bad either. What a fantastic rally. Great stuff. Absolutely wonderful play.
10-12.
Well played, Christoph Zakar. Backhands from the middle. Had to play the forehand there. Backhands again. And that's too much for Wang Shibo, the Chinese champion qualifier. Great stuff, but we do have a lead again for Wang.
10-13.
Christoph's done some well to get back into this match, but 13-10 down now. One more serve. That's a beautiful backhand, needed that one.
Wang 13-11.
Still moving well to the left and right as the Hungarian player. You can see that there, trying to stay low into the legs as he moves.
He moves beautifully, doesn't he?
He's very happy to sit away from the table a little bit. He covers ground really well, and he has very long strokes, doesn't he? Develops a little bit of a loop, so he gets the ball high over the net, comes back down, so he can hit that with quite high amount of power.
Well, consistency into Wang Shibo, the pen holder's backhand, paying a little bit of dividends. 13 all. Next point will give a game point to one of the two players. So again, forehand serve from the backhand side. Will it be the pendulum side spin? Will he put some flat play or opposite side spin on? Yes, opposite side spin into the middle. No problem for Christoph Zakar. Oh, the ball
Zakar,
nearly crept
12,
over.
14.
But that makes it 3 game points to Wang. But maybe he can pull it back, or in the second game.
First game, Wang 15-12. Second game, Zakar to serve. Love all.
It's Wang that played down the line. Oh, and that forehand across court with side spin off the, not just off the corner, but off the side of the table. Gavin, how do you do that?
Well, it's very good movement of the feet. Like when he chooses to pivot round, he's getting a huge amount of space, so then he can really unlock that shoulder and launch through the ball.
So Wang is running around the backhand to get his forehand, and he runs around quite a long way to make sure he's got a good length of stroke. So he's not tucked up when he plays his forehand. He commits to it. Zakar will now have to judge when to play to the forehand, and that was it. He got him off balance.
Yeah, really good variation there from Zakar. So he switched from corner to corner. 1, 2, 3, all different corners. Really made Wang move around a lot.
Back to backhand and backhand again. Wang feeling like he's got to go around. Good crack.
Zakar,
increased pace with that forehand. Zakar went down the line, but just off the side. Difference between winning and losing here is tiny. You've got to get it right. Perception, decision-making, and execution.
2-3.
Yeah, you're spot on, and you see so many times if players at the first towel change after 6 points are leading 4-2 or 5-1, it's amazing how that just relaxes you into playing like in practice.
Very good.
Yeah, that's interesting, Gavin. We noticed that you always take your double point quite early in the game. It's like you really want to be the front runner for the game.
I mean, I see that in any sport, whether it's Roger Federer in the tennis, Ronnie O'Sullivan in the snooker. You know, it's so important. Once the top players get a little lead, relax into practice mode and they play much better.
Yeah, I think yesterday at one point you took the double point ball at something like 4-3 in the first game. Well, wonderful rally. You see the athleticism of the players, and Zakhar there saw that Wang was going to run around and get his forehand in, chose to go wide of the forehand, got him off balance and on the run. Wonderful play from the Hungarian, gives him a slender, slender lead. That was clever from Wang, right into the crossover, into the playing elbow, so he doesn't know whether to play forehand or backhand and hasn't got time to get his body out of the way. It's a little cheapy there for Wang. He's done it again, and then opens up wide of the backhand, but couldn't quite execute.
And Tony, when you were playing at this, high level 3 or 4 years ago, when you were playing this tournament, it was your backhand that was one of the strongest shots as well. So what's the secret to playing one of the bigger, more attacking backhands?
Yeah, personally for me, I always find that I have to hold the bat really, really lightly to try and absorb the power from these top players coming into the backhand, and then try and turn your wrist over really quickly, because you've got to lift it against that power, but you've also got to bring it back down before it flies off the end.
Thanks, guys. So Zakhar coming across the forehand side to play his backhand, determined to get into a backhand-to-backhand when he wants to. So Zakhar trying to dominate the choice of tactics, the way that the rally will play out. 7-5 and serving for the Hungarian. This has got to be his chance. I'd like some stats on the percentage of points that are being won on service, Gavin. Do you?
8-5.
I guess instinctively you feel it. You'd rather be serving than returning. You've got the choice of how the rally begins, but we don't actually know the stats. We're just kind of making this up about thinking that service is an advantage. We might be right, but it'd be interesting to see.
Yeah, I mean, the more intelligent players out there that can handle the pressure, yeah. I mean, if you're winning a lot of the fast exchanges, then serving a really fast serve at the start of the rally encourages the point to go quicker. Sometimes you might want to win the point directly off one shot because you're a bit nervous. That's when you serve a little half-long serve. The opponent lifts it up, and you go from there.
And then attack that one. Zakhar down the line into the forehand, very comprehensively done. But when it goes back to the backhand, Wang not only reached it with his backhand, but he managed to get around and play a forehand.
Yeah, good example here of Wang on the wide on the forehand, putting the forehand back into play. But as soon as he got to play the forehand on the backhand corner, the power came out, and he hits the winner.
8-9.
And I think Wang has found another level with the power of his forehand, and as Gavin was saying, it's a very, very flat forehand, difficult for Zakhar to lift.
Double point ball from Zakhar.
Wangs are still to come. The Chinese players tending to take it very late in the game. Well, if Zakhar doesn't win the next few, it could be late in the game for him. Didn't convert it. A big oh from the crowd.
I wondered if Wang might take his straight away, but he hasn't. I think he's changed the ball back.
And Gavin, I was saying yesterday that I think that when you take the double point ball, you've got a plan for what to do after it as well. You've already thought through how you're going to follow it up, rather than it just being a one-off and then think again after the double pointer.
Yeah, I'll usually take it when, possibly the point before the opponent is just a little bit frustrated. They've just been serving. It's back to my serve. I've got 2 serves. I can maybe see them, there's a shake of the head or a look to their coach. I think, yeah, this is a good time to take it.
So you're taking it from body language as much as anything. Great stuff. And I think your record of double point ball winners is one of the highest.
13.
Could be, and probably Andrew Bagley as well. I mean, the amount of times that he wins close matches, and yeah, 12-13 all, he manages to turn those into his favour.
Yeah. Beautiful backhands from Zakhar. Oh, that forehand again, he's cracking it. But that one's off the end.
9-13.
Maybe gives Zakhar a chance. Fast serve down the line.
Wang,
that worked.
13-10.
Well, after the last game, where the player came back from 14-8 a game and 14-8 down, I'm not discounting anyone's chances at 13-9 or 10.
Yeah. was an incredible match. Can Zakat pull himself back into it? Well,
14-10.
4 match points against him.
In my last match in the group stage, I was at 14-10, and suddenly I found it 14-all.
Yeah, but you won it. You gave him the same ball you gave him at 14-10, knowing that he didn't have the same confidence at 14-all, and you made it. So well done.
Game 15,
But also well done to Wang Shibo.
Wang wins 2 games to none. 15-12, 15-10.
Wang Shibo completing the lineup for the top half of the draw, which incredibly sees 3 Chinese names out of the 4. The exception being Tomas Sadilek, who came through a nail-biting last 16 match with Hu Junqiao. Next time, the attention turns to the bottom half and the fate of 3 Englishmen, among them former champion Andrew Bagley. He features alongside Germany's Alexander Fleming, the defeated finalist a year ago. 4 more fascinating matches in the race to the quarter-finals in the World Championship of Ping Pong.